Joining me now, two former White House insiders. Mark Thiessen is a Fox News contributor and former chief speechwriter for President George W. Bush. Bill Burton is a former deputy press secretary under President Obama. Good to see you both.
Good to see you, Megan.
Mark, let me start with you and your thoughts.
So the big loser tonight was the establishment in both parties. So if you think about it, if you look at the establishment choices, which were basically Bush, Christie, and Kasich, they took a combined 6.4% of the vote tonight. And then the Democratic establishment candidate, Hillary Clinton, is tied in a race that's too close to call with Bernie Sanders, a person she was leading in last year at this time, 68 to 7%. So if you think about it, in 2008, Hillary Clinton lost to a young, handsome, charismatic, rising political star. Tonight, she is in a dead heat with a 74-year-old disheveled socialist from Vermont. That is not good.
Bill, what do you make of this Democratic race?
It's tight, but I think that Iowa was always set up to be a tight race. It's a place where, look, Bernie Sanders should have done better here and in New Hampshire than any other state in the union. 43% of Democrats here identify as socialist.
Amazing.
That's more than identify as capitalist, literally, in the last Des Moines Register poll. So this is a place where Bernie Sanders is bound to do well. I think Hillary Clinton put together a better ground organization, and as a result of it, is probably going to eke out a little bit of a victory, but we'll see. It's close, but I think as this race progresses, you're going to see Hillary Clinton start to put together meaningful delegate wins.
So what does it mean for him? Let's say tomorrow they declare her the winner by just a hair, and then they move on to New Hampshire where he's killing her, right? He's way ahead there. What does it mean if she has a narrow victory here and he has a victory there?
I think it looks a lot like 2000, Bradley versus Gore, where, if you don't start locking up wins where people don't expect you to win, you just run out of steam. And so I think that for Bernie Sanders, he put together a good effort. I think that he made economic issues, put them at the forefront in a way that they maybe weren't. And, he ran a great race, but I don't think that there's a lot of steam left in it once you get to South Carolina and Nevada.
What do you make of the GOP side?
Well, I think big loss for Donald Trump, and it shows you don't duck Fox News. I think that's the lesson for the night for Donald Trump. I mean, he skipped his last job interview in the state of Iowa, and there were a lot of people, we saw in the polls that a lot of people decided at the last minute. They decided after that debate he wasn't on the stage. He was afraid of taking questions from you. So the big winner tonight is really Fox News, and the big loser is Donald Trump.
What about you, Bill? What do you think about what happened here with Ted Cruz? Do you see Ted Cruz having a real chance now to actually secure the GOP nomination?
Well, it's so funny that his victory speech was the most bizarre victory speech I've ever seen.
Long.
It was long.
Very long.
It was exhausting. I can see why Hillary Clinton decided to just go out there. Mom, love you, Dad, the whole thing. But I think Ted Cruz just follows a long line of Republicans who can't win the nomination.
What about Marco Rubio?
I think he had a big night. I think Marco Rubio surprised folks. He got over 20% for the first time in any poll that was conducted over the course
Does he scare you at all as a Democrat?
I think that if I had the choice of running against Ted Cruz or Marco Rubio, I'd of course want to run against Ted Cruz. But, I think that Marco Rubio has some real vulnerabilities, and Hillary Clinton has a strong message against him.
How about you, final word?
I think that the Democrats are more scared of anybody on the field. They're scared of Marco Rubio because he is young, charismatic, optimistic. He straddles both the establishment and the outsider lanes, so he can appeal to both of those groups. And he talks about the future. He's optimistic. He is basically a modern JFK to Hillary Clinton's Richard Nixon.
Final thought, just quickly. What happens to these other guys at the bottom now? What's going to happen?
I think you see the herd get thinned out pretty quick come next week. I think you lose all the governors who, unless something surprising happens, I think you lose all the governors.
The night of New Hampshire primary?
Yep, probably.
That's
or the
when
next
they say,
morning.
Traditionally, they say, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. And some will stick around until Super Tuesday, but not that many.
Fascinating. Thank you both so much.
Thanks,
Megan.